Hello, welcome one and all to another live webinar with us from Group Futures. What are we talking about today? We're going to be discussing remove your trading frustrations with the alien wash. What is the alien wash? Well, we have professional trader Binni Ong in the studio to walk us through what exactly is this alien term, the alien wash. And in this webinar, attending the webinar, you will learn more about how professionals use their technology to create an opposing trend, basically finding a better entry point, and how this strategy benefits the professionals, and how you can turn the tide and trade along with the professionals for products like gold, crude oil, indices, and forex. These are primarily the examples that Vinny will be walking us through today and telling us more about the alien system which has created to spot these fake trends. Vinny, as you know, if you've been attending our webinars regularly, I hope you have, has more than 15 years of experience in providing trading education to both institutions and retail clients. She invests and trades in a wide array of instruments such as equities, forex, and commodities. She's also very well versed in futures. I had the pleasure of organizing events with Binny, and she was talking quite a bit about the futures market as well. And Binny's views on the market is regularly featured in Lianhe Zaobao and other local dailies. Binny is also part of the Singapore Trading Festival. She will be speaking in the event, and she regularly participates in regional events as well. All right. Before I hand the reins over to Binny, can I please do a quick sound check if you can hear me loud and clear? Just hit down to the question box, which is somewhere at the bottom of your control panel, and type yes into the box if you can hear me clearly. All right, just head down to the question box and type in yes if you can hear me clearly, and then I'll hand the reins proper to Binny. All right, Binny, if you're all set to go, I can hand the reins over to you. Thank you, Ramesh. And Binny, if you're all set to go, I can hand the reins over to you. Binny?
Yes, I'm done. Thanks a lot, Sri. I just like to know whether you can hear me.
Yes,
And all of
loud
you
and clear,
guys can
Binny.
hear me. Yeah, that's good. Just like to check whether any question was being typed.
Not at the moment. We just have
Not
a
moment, but just
few.
response.
Yeah, just responding with a yes. They can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Okay, hi guys. What I am going to talk about right now is I'm just going to wait for just to do a brief introduction about 1 minute. All right, and then I'm just gonna wait for you guys to come in because then you might be having your dinner. You can't see me because I'm somehow there's a bit of a technical issue because Mac and GoToMeeting they don't work really very well together for certain Mac version. So I am here here today. I just had a haircut. So you have seen me in Singapore Trading Festivals. My hair was a little bit long and untidy. So for the Phillip event, I had my hair cut and then doll up a little bit, but then too bad you can't see me. All right, I just want to know whether you guys had your dinner yet, and if yes, please type yes. I just want to see whether I can see your response because just now I can't see your response. Okay, have you had your dinner yet? Yes or no? Okay.
They're probably still having their dinner, Binny.
Yeah. Okay, Sri, do you mind if you could just help me monitor whether that's a response coming in? Because just now I didn't see the yes, but in any case, if I still can't see the response, then you might later on, if there's any questions, just send it to me via
Sure.
WhatsApp. I just answer that,
Sure.
okay?
Well, we just got responses coming in. We have no from Chi, yes from Albert, no from Ramesh, and no from Chiu.
Yeah, I think something is with this GoToMeeting. I can't see the response. It's under question, right? Because I used the platform
It's
before.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's under questions. I think it's slightly delayed today, but no worries. I'll monitor for you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sri. All right, let's get started. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to talk about, there are 3 parts to this session, meaning that if you have attended this March session, you can continue with April session. There will be 2 sessions, and so it's a total of altogether 3 sessions. All right. So I'm just going to do the first part, which is to answer what is the alien wash. All right. So it's a method that I've designed that, and I use a lot of automations, whether it is full automations or partial automations. All right. So therefore, let me just share how I trade. Especially I trade in quite a lot of different instruments. Okay, so as usual, the disclaimer, just to let you know, I'm just sharing education information, and these are not advisory, or I can't provide financial advice. Occasionally, you might own another disclaimer. Occasionally, you might hear a bit of cough here and there because I just recovered from COVID. I'm just having a bit of a long COVID symptom. All right, I hope to short my COVID. Right, so but too bad I'm long COVID now. Okay, so this is me. I'm not sure whether you have attended my session. All right, so I work with quite a lot of different institutions, regional banks or brokers, both Singapore and around the world. I also do a lot of consultancy in system design. So I have clients whom I cannot review due to the NDA. And I help them to design their trading systems. They can be a family office, some small funds, or even as part of the core project, some major automations for huge trading houses. Okay, so let's talk about my trading profile a little bit for you to understand why I'm using this style to trade. At the end of the day, I think rather than to think of myself as a trainer or someone who is doing system design, think of me doing the same thing as you. All right, trading, but I trade and invest in quite a diversified portfolio. All right, and hopefully that we can have a bit of interaction here. All right, so in the morning, I always start off my morning at 5:50 because I insist to bring my my daughter. She is now in preparatory to school, right? And then after that in the morning, I will do my exercise, and I have insist to do about 40 minutes or to 50 minutes of exercise, and that's very important to me because it's really clear my mind, all right, for the rest of the day. Okay, then during the morning session, I'll be looking more towards the stock side and the future side, like what Sri said. I also helped SGX Academy to train a IBF, all right, which is 90% sponsored for Singaporeans and PR, all right, in terms of the course fee, right, by IBF course, okay, and that's on futures trading, Singapore Free Index, all right. Then I trade in the Hong Kong market quite a lot using different instruments. All right, now at about 1 p.m., that's where all my stocks position has been placed in already. Then I will come back to the Forex and others, okay? So I do mainly gold, Forex, oil, and indexes, okay? Indexes, usually I would do it in my stock side, okay? So Forex and Meta and whatever that move, right, would be what I use for my day-to-day in and out trading. Okay, I'm like a 4 hours trader, meaning that every 4 hours I trade, or every 4 hours I will have a signal. Okay, what I mean is that, for example, if you take a look at 24 hours, so if you're using Phillip MT5, 4 hour would means start at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. and 5 a.m. and then the next signal will be at 9, then followed by 1 p.m., then 5 p.m., then 9 p.m., and then 1 a.m. Okay, so this is what I mean by 4 hour. Some of you might be trading every hour, but I find that 4 hour it's a lot more effective in spotting a big move. All right, I do a lot of automations, right? Because if you look at the number of things I'm trading, right, plus my investment, my REITs, my bonds, my unit trust, and whatever I have, and at night sometimes I also do a bit of a US options. So I need all these automations to help me. And today I'll be talking about how you can use certain automations to help you to rid off your frustrations. Okay, so what are the frustrations that you're going to have in terms of trading? For example, you are busy at work, you are having dinner with your friends, and then you miss your trade, not because you don't know what to trade, but you simply miss the best entry price. Because sometimes you have to be at your computer to place the trade, or you can use your mobile phone, but it's never perfect because then you need to check it, right? So therefore you missed a lot of a good entry. And it's not only about good entry. Sometimes you have a winning trade, but some news came in, plop, and then it just quickly turned the tide, and you miss actually exiting your trade. So you have a winning trade and it turns out to be a losing trade. So there are many things that automations can help, all right, such as, you know, to alert you on the entry and exit, etc., or even to help you place a trade, to help you manage the trade. So today I'm just going to focus on, all right, your entry, how you can use automations to help your entry. All right, especially what I'm doing here. Now, today I'll be introducing a technique which is called wash and rinse. All right, and I think that why do I name this webinar a trading frustration? Why is it that sometimes when you enter a trade, the next moment it will just turn the other side? All right, so for example, you bought already and you thought that this is the perfect entry, but it just magically every time turn the other side, and then, you know, so it's just very sour to me. That's how I see it. All right. Okay, so the content would be, I'm going to introduce wash and rinse and what wash and rinse is about, how it will result in an explosive move, and then more about the alien wash indicator that I will be giving out as a free trial to all of you, as long as you have the Phillip Nova MT5. Okay, now I can't see your feedback, I can't see your responses, so I'm just going to do the session a little bit different. Usually my session, I would be asking responses from all of you, all right? But this time around, I'm not. I'm just going to rattle off. And if you do have questions, please send it so that Sri can just WhatsApp me the question. I just answer it, all right? Okay, so number one is that I'm sure that you're often, not often, right? But sometimes stop out and then find that your trade move in your original direction. Do you have this experience? I think that you will likely have it. All right. Okay, so let me just ask you a questions. I know that I can't get your response, but then just do this very simple game, right? Okay, so this is a chart here. You don't know what is it, but I'm just gonna go through certain technical stuff, and then if you focus on this place here, okay, just get a pen, and these would be what we know as a resistance, and this place would likely be a support. All right, and then this place would likely be another support. Now you've seen, you read and you attended courses and you say that, hey, look, you know, there was a previous resistance here, there was a previous support here. And what do you do here, especially when you can look at the candlestick and it's forming like a bit of a maybe a hammer, ugly hammer, a black color hammer, all right, with a confirmation of that particular hammer on the support. So traditionally, the way to use this is to be looking to buy, isn't it? Okay. I hope that I didn't get all your responses wrong. I think that we'll be looking to potentially buy here. All right. But the market is no longer that simple. If you look at all the automations, remember at one point of time where we are deep in COVID and then the government was promoting people to go into Python programming, and a lot of people started to look at programming. You realize that programming as a whole in the trading community, especially in the pro levels, right, especially the big banks or the houses, they have a lot of mathematicians, statisticians, and then programmers, right, who are working on all this to go and program all this, right? So a lot of times our way that we look at the market or when we trade the market is no longer the same as what we understand in the past, okay? And a lot of things change. Now, if you are thinking to buy here at this place here, sometimes it just doesn't work out, okay? Why do I say it just doesn't work out? Because if it worked out, then you wouldn't be buying already, and the next moment you see that price has actually fallen below it, all right? And then you hit a even stronger support here, like for example, instead of staying these as a resistance followed by a support, what price did was move up a little bit and then follow that current downtrend here, went deeper, all right, down to flush a lot of stops and finally move back up like nothing ever happened. Okay, now why is that so? Because, all right, if you look at hindsight, of course, all right, you got to find that there's another one more support here. all right? Your friends, your trainers, whoever say, hey, look, why you didn't manage to spot this? But you have followed everything that's in the book, and what you do, you just manage to be wrong in this trade, and sometimes again, all right? Now, I call this whole thing here, all right, we call this a wash and rinse, and sometimes you realize it has been specially set up. Okay, now with this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue to give you a little bit more example and explain exactly what is wash and rinse here. Okay, so let me just erase stuff and then continue. All right, okay, now wash and rinse, right? The wash is usually a fake move. Okay, so that's, for example, a support level 1, and then you think that that is the place to enter the trade, but that isn't the ultimate support. For example, in a buy trade, right, you will usually be a move that artificially push down a support, all right, break a support, all right, it causes people to lose money, all right, then after that, what happened? Then there is a subsequent move that moved in your original direction. So we call that movement, all right, a wash and rinse. Okay. Some people will look at, will be frustrated and be asking, hey, how come there are some people that specially flush my stop? Are the brokers trading against me? All right. Let me just change another broker. Unfortunately, let me just share the truth with you. In the past, maybe perhaps like 20 years ago, there's a lot of bucket shops. Yes, perhaps they are actually trading against you. But right now, with the development in technology, no longer I think that this is true, and I think it's a myth. Okay, but how about professional or people who specially created all this fake move? I think that it is true. Okay, all right. So as a result, retailer loss, professional gains. Now let me just also quickly just pose a question here. All right, I know that I can't see a response, but in your mind, maybe you just share with me what you think. Now, at this blue color arrow here, all right, blue color arrow here that points to this white bar here, okay, this particular white bar. Now, what do you think that you would like to do? Would you like to buy or would you like to sell? Okay, I know that the decision cannot be do nothing, it has to be buy or sell. All right, so if you take a look at this trend, so some people would be following a trend. They say, hey, look, the trend is still up and then up, all right, and every time when it retraces back down, it is good to actually buy. And then it goes up, it comes back down, it's good to consider buy. Every time it stops coming down, it goes up, it comes down, right? So if you look at the trend, if you look at what happened logically, this place here, the one that I'm circling, will be a place for us to consider buying. And you say, hey, look, that's the trap already. Why is that so? Because Binni covered this part up and cover this part up. Okay, so what I want to share with you is that many times a wash and rinse happen very often, all right, in a prominent area where you just have to pay a little bit more attention. Okay, some people might have bought here, they didn't realize that they might have bought in at a place where there's strong historical level. Okay, for example, strong historical level here. But hey, if there is a strong historical level such as a resistance here, why is it that the movement at this particular bar was so bullish? All right, shouldn't there be things like a doji happening? Shouldn't there be some black color? Why is it that price push all the way up and there are people who are buying here like nothing really matters to them? Okay, so many times you might see this happening, and if you don't look too far, you just look at the recent price movement that's somewhere around here, you realize that price broke, okay, especially for those who are doing breakout, it broke through that high point here, this high point here, to result in a buy. Let me just clean this and perhaps you're going to see it easily better. Okay, so for example, there was a breakout here, there was a break here, and then that was a perfect buy if you're looking at some short-term time frame. Okay, unfortunately, right now, okay, things are different as I point out, right? Unfortunately, right now, a lot of time, this type of a fake move happen, okay? And if you go back to all the trades that you did, all right, you can almost see a lot of fake move. All right, so what I do is I came up with a way for you to reason the market, for you to spot all this turning point, for you not to remember any candlestick, but to just look at things purely from the point of a washed. Okay, so the up candle here is called a wash. All right, now the down candle here, it's actually called a rinse. Okay, wash up means that as long as there is any price that's above a previous high. Okay, let me just clean this. All right, so for example here, okay, now there was a close above the previous high. So this is considered a wash bar, but a wash is only confirmed if we can see that there is a rinse. Okay, meaning that we can suspect everything is a wash. For example here, okay, this one here, these might be a wash, but it's never a wash until the rinse comes in. Okay, now how do I know that the rinse is here? It must close back below the line that it broke. Okay, now what does it mean? It means that whoever who bought here at this place, all right, when the rinse bar happened, and those people who bought, or even those people who bought here, they will be at a loss. Okay, I repeat that. All right, so wash and rinse is where we try to tell a story, all right, about human behavior in the trading world. It can be applied to any instruments, whether you are doing forex or stocks, or you are doing gold or oil or crypto, etc. For example, I just traded a wash and rinse to sell the gold, I think 2 days ago. Okay, so I'm just going to show it to you if we have time. All right, so same thing, you have this artificial bar that close right up. All right, and this bar here is as if going to be very, very bullish, and it probably landed into some key levels, okay, some resistance level here, and instead of continuing up, what it did is that it actually closed back down. So when the rinse bar happened, those people who bought in here is going to find themselves what happened. Okay, they're going to find themselves actually losing money. Why? Because whatever that they bought would be rinsed now. Okay, why is that so? Because they will be losing money and they'll be screaming to actually exit the market. Okay, now, so let me just continue further. Let me know whether you have burning questions and the question panel. All right, so that Sri can send that to me. Okay, now this is the outcome of the trade in gold just now. So just now I talked about that the gold was here, which is the resistance, and that was the wash and rinse. Okay, so because I trade into a lot of instruments, and also because I want to see things very quickly, very easily, and I like things which are very, very precise. I like things which, yes is the yes, one is the one, not 1 + 1 = 3, something like that. I write something that's very rule-based. So what I did is I created all this signal to tell me that, hey, look, this is probably a wash bar. All right, so this is probably a wash bar, and that's where the rinse happen. So anything that is red in color, you don't care whether it is a down arrow or whether it is a thick, right? Anything that is red in color is where a bearish wash and rinse happen. Anything that is green in color is where a bullish wash and rinse happen. All right, so I color code a lot of my system. So for example, at this place here, price had a close below the previous low, so this is a wash bar. And what happened to the bar that shows a green arrow? Right, so this is the place where there is a rinse bar. Okay, how do I know that this is a rinse bar? Price actually closed back up above the line that I've drawn. Okay, and the line that I've drawn in is called the wash line. All right, so later on towards the end of the session, you're gonna find that you can get a free trial of this indicator, meaning that as long as you have Phillip Nova MT5, you just download the indicator, right, which is called TAW, T-A-W, the Allen Wash indicator 3.1, all right, and you just put them into any charts that you like, right? And you can see all this red color and green color arrows and ticks plotting. Okay, it means that these are the wash and rinse where you know, a fake move has happened. All right. Okay, let me just erase this one first. Okay, let's continue. Now, what is the meaning when there's a lot of all these automations happening? All right, it means that many times the trading range is easily exhausted. A lot of time you're gonna find that price will move extremely up, and the next day it will just move down like nothing happened. Okay, no explanation, and probably when you read the news, you're gonna find, what kind of news is that to qualify for a sudden drop or sudden change in the direction? I thought that yesterday was extremely bullish and I bought in, and who knows that today it turns out to be extremely bearish and I have some news that I'm not convinced about it. All right, so it is because that a lot of people, all right, especially those huge funds and those huge traders, right, they are using some form of an automations. So when they see that common things are being happened in their trading system, all right, they will read all these robots and automations will usually rush in. All right, so when you rush in, it will cause price to surge in a very, very fast manner. Usually the reversal would be V-shape instead of a regular U-shape. And when this happens, all right, you realize that the trading range is going to be easily exhausted. You as a trader, especially a retail trader, going to find yourself very slow against them. Then you might have, you know, tried to modify your system by trading the lower time frame and doing scalping, but then what happened? The losses might exceed your whatever that you have made. So every time, let's say you make $10, but your loss can be $50 or $100. Okay, because simply that you know, you just can't beat that speed of the pros. Okay, so where would be the best place to look for wash and rinse? All right, so if you have recently traded oil, okay, I'm not sure whether you have recently traded oil, but oil was really moving very, very nicely. So for example, we had a you know, during mid-Feb, right, we had a green color wash here, which is a bullish wash. Okay, so that's a buy for us. All right, but when oil moved up, you realize that we are able to spot that red color. Okay, why was that so? Because if you see this bar here, okay, so this particular bar here, right, price had a close above the previous bar, the line was automatically drawn. Okay, so we call this a wash bar, and price actually stayed here for a while. All right, stayed here above around 115. But later on, when oil reached about 125, that 5-day it actually moved down and closed at about 107. So what happened to those people who bought here? All right, when they see that it was trading at 107, 109, for example, these people would have been wash and rinse because they will make a loss. Okay, so for us, what we do is that we look for wash and rinse near to strong levels. Okay, strong levels, it's very important to us. All right, so there was a recent trade that we did on oil. In fact, that if you have been trading oil, you realize that oil recently moved down as well around this place here. All right, there was actually a wash and rinse as well, okay, which is to the sell side. Now, we take a look at the wash and rinse here. There's this green color thick, right? Okay, how to look at that? So price, this one, washed, had a close below the previous low. So the line automatically draw in. All right, then there's a bit of a dodgy here. And they might be looking at this horizontal level, but whatever it is, there was a rinse that went back up and moved above this wash line that was drawn. Okay, so we had the trade traded in, whether you are doing US oil from Phillip Nova or you're doing any form of oil, the pattern should look the same. All right, because that's a wash and rinse to us. Okay, so where is that strong level that we are looking at? It can be a horizontal previous historical level, but for oil, the level was actually this particular trend line here. Okay, so this trend line, okay, so it connects the high to the high to the high, and it broke and then it retraces back down here to this particular trend line, it formed a bullish wash and means it actually moves up. So that was very, very wonderful trade because we long about 103, 130 cents. All right. We exited the trade about I think 115 or 116. Okay, so that is considered a very, very profitable trade for oil already. Okay. All right, now so next is then how to spot a good wash and rinse. Usually we like to trade we do trades that's with the trend. Of course, we will do a trend reversal trade because it's good to spot a turning point, especially where a turning point is near to a strong level. But one of the preference for wash and rinse is to trade with the trend. So you might just want to just put in the moving average. For example, in my case here, I just put in a 10 period, 10 day, all right, simple moving average to filter which is an uptrend, which is a downtrend here. All right, so let me just quickly go through. If you take a look at yen, this is Aussie yen. The Aussie yen has been moving very well, or in fact, a lot of yen pairs have been, or all the yen pairs, right, have been moving up very, very nicely, okay, in the past few weeks or past 1 month. All right, now then you're gonna ask me, hey, look, you know, your wash and rinse when it's red color, that means it's bearish. Didn't you have a wrong signal here? All right, no, because we don't have a wrong signal. Why? Because we trade the wash and rinse in a lower time frame. Just this signal, we might be able to get into a break-even situation. But if you can just put in a moving average to filter a trade, such as, for example, you know that this was a 10-day moving average, and the 10-day moving average was slanting up. All right, so when you have a sell, that means a red color sell here, you are actually against the trend. Okay, so for example, if the trend is like a river and the river is flowing up, all right, then when you are going to sell it down, to short it down, all right, you are in fact actually against the trend, trading against the trend. All right, so when this happens, we tend not to want to have this kind of trade when it's very much against the trend. We tend to choose trade which are with the trend and with the trend. You can see that these two trades, or maybe all this, right, as long as it starts to be with the trend, it gets really very, very profitable because you are just trading, right, at the point that is about to turn. Okay, so for example, let's take a look at Aussie yen, this part here. Where is the wash? This black color candle here is the wash because price had a close below the previous low. And then where is the rinse? Okay, the rinse happens at this green color candle here. All right, now why is it important for us to know and see this clearly? That's because many times, right, when a trade has happened, you can see it very well, isn't it? All right, for example, a trade has happened, it has moved like 200, 300 pips already, but you haven't entered yet, huh? You can see perfectly well by, you know, back testing it or just looking at on hindsight and say, hey, look, I should have just gone in at that moment. But imagine that you are back from work, you're so busy, and then maybe your children say, hey, look, you know, let's play, or maybe, you know, your girlfriend or boyfriend said, let's go for a movie, and it's so flustered already. What you need is really something where it is just there for you to see, okay, for you to see easily, for you to make a decision quickly and very fast. All right, so this is this was my problem in the past, because I know that the system can give me money, a lot of money. It's just that so often I just don't have that precision, all right, don't have that ability to be able to be there to see it properly. Okay, I think the key thing here is to be able to see it properly. All right, so I needed something to just at one glance I can see it and then I can know what to do. Okay, now so then what happened, you know, if you ask me, for example, if I have gotten in a trade, right, that's wrong, then, you know, what we do is that we will switch between time frame. So for example, Aussie yen, all right, our trade happens mainly as reference, right, in the day time frame. But what we do is we also switch our time frame to move to the higher time frame, like the week, right, to go and find what is happening to the trend. So for example, Aussie yen happens to have a buy signal, all right, a buy here in the weekly chart. Okay, so when the buy happened somewhere around here at the day, it was just a perfect signal for us to enter this trade. Okay, which gave us a very, very nice move in the yen trade. All right. Okay, so let me just shift and then move. Okay, now next question. Perhaps I really anticipated that things might not work, so I just asked the question in advance. Next questions, all right, that you might have, right? As wash and rinse a candlestick pattern, because you can see that it's going to resemble a candlestick pattern. Unfortunately, it is a lot more flexible and a lot more comprehensive. So it is not a candlestick pattern here. So this is what I have, which is a dollar yen chart, which is a weekly chart. All right, so if you might see this place where it gives us let me just draw that, a green color up. Okay, now where is this rinse bar coming from? Because there was a wash bar that was here. Okay, how do I know that this is a wash bar? All right, price had a close below the previous low. Okay, so I'm able to draw in the wash line. All right, so you realize that all along for so many weeks, dollar yen didn't even bother to create any new wash bar because it never actually make a new low, a lower low versus previous low. So it's just very simple. We just have to find any low, all right, any close, for example here, all right, that is below the previous low, and once it closes back up, that becomes a rinse. Okay, so if you take a look at this place here, let me just erase, I accidentally make a bit of a drawing. Okay, so if you take a look at this wash bar here, so that's the wash bar, that's the wash line, and this one is the rinse bar. All right, so the wash and rinse encompassed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and only happens on the 13th. So this is not a candlestick pattern. So sometimes it can resemble a candlestick pattern, all right, because then a candlestick pattern has component of wash and rinse. But what we are able to do is that we are able to quantify a particular movement in wash and rinse. So for example, we have 12 weeks or maybe 13 weeks of people who are trying to short dollar yen down. That means that this group of people has been bearish in dollar yen. And what happened at this particular place here? Right, finally, dollar yen actually rinsed back up and it made this 12 weeks of trades all wrong. So those who have been shorting, selling in this place here, once they see the rinse bar, what will they do? They will be scrapping to actually close their position. So this is where, and the reason why wash and rinse is very powerful, because number one, we can quantify that. Number two, we are actually trading into the sadness and the frustrations of other people. Okay, so it can be, for example, that you have shorted here. Okay, that means you have shorted here. The moment you have shorted, it just flipped the other side. Then once this happened to you, then what will you do? You'll be probably thinking whether you should exit the trade, and if it shoots so much higher, then you have to force to close your trade. All right, often at a loss. Okay, so this is the reason why wash and rinse is very, very explosive, because then it's often at the agony of the other party. All right. Okay, I'm just going to pause here a little bit because I almost completed the bout of what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna pause and then to see whether you guys have any questions. Okay, if you have any questions, please type at the questions box, and then I have the questions forwarded to me. All right, so I'm just gonna pause a little bit for the questions to come in.
Hey, Binni.
Yep.
We don't have questions at the moment, so I thought I should take the opportunity to fire away with some questions. My question is, when you have this indicator active on your platform, for example, Phillip MT5, and you have the marks there, which are tick signs as well as arrow signs.
Mm.
Um, how 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 do you read what's going to happen, like how it's going to pan out in the next few candlesticks?
What we usually do is that these signs here confirm the wash and rinse.
Mm-hmm.
For us, the wash line is more important. We will usually go to the H4 time frame. That means to go to the lower time frame to go and trade it. Okay, so that would be under the next few slides of my slides. Okay, so to answer your questions, I think I will be showcasing the the gold trade so that they can understand how we make use of all these arrows. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Sri, for asking me the question because there's no question. Okay. So what I will do is I will continue on while I wait for questions from you guys. So this is the weekly chart of dollar yen, and all of us have been trading the forex, and you know that the yen pairs has been moving vertically up, really very nice. All right, while some of you might be trying to find a very good stocks to trade. All right, but if you can just focus on the yen pairs, you just put it in, and then it's almost like an energizer bunny, you know, it just doesn't stop moving. It doesn't mean that, for example, after I said this today, you just go and buy the yen pairs, right? Because the yen pairs looks a little bit exhausted right now. But if you have traded at each of the turning point based on wash and rinse, you realize that one of the characteristics that it has, right, is that yes, there are signal that it doesn't work, but every time when you have the right signal, that reward to risk ratio is going to be very high. Okay, so for example, you have the correct signal, reward to risk is going to be very high. Correct signal, reward to risk is going to be very high. Now, it doesn't mean that this type of a bearish signal, it just move a little bit, right? We're going to lose money. No, as I explained to Sri just now, we will always go to the lower time frame to fine tune a trade. But what I like to share with you is that if you have wash and rinse, then you'll be able to quantify a trade. Now, why is it important to quantify a trade? Sometimes you realize that when you make money, it's not that you cannot make, all right? When you make money, you make very little. For example, a trade, you make $100, but when you lose, right, you lose like $500. The ratio just isn't there, right? And cannot be sustainable over time. Okay, then the question would be, how do you know that this trade is going to move a lot more versus the other trade? How do I know that I need to stay on this particular trade here? Okay, so with wash and rinse, we are able to answer that question. So for example, we know that dollar yen took about 12 to 13 weeks, all right, to create this buy. All right, therefore, it is not going to just stop by moving 100 pips only. Okay, because it took about 13 weeks to create this buy green arrow here. So I think that it should move, all right, a lot more. Okay, now this one here. So there was this wash, all right, there was these rinse here. Now what happened to the whole chunk of a price movement after the wash and rinse pointing at the bottom? Dollar yen again took another 8 weeks or so, right, to as a consolidation. So when it really moved out, it has to move a lot more. All right. So the ability to quantify your trade is very important. Okay. And of course, as I explained, what I want to do is I just want to see it at one glance and I know what to do. And many times, right, I don't like things which go up down and it's gonna plot like many arrows or sometimes we go up and up arrow and then after the next moment it plot a down arrow. So for wash and rinse and the arrows or the ticks that you see here, it doesn't replot or it doesn't repaint. Okay, so once it's shown, it is shown already. All right. Okay, so let me just continue to move so that you understand. So next question is why is wash and rinse often explosive? That's because it's involved many people, many parties, right? So let's take a look at the recent oil trade here. Some people might see this trend line, okay? This is an extended trend line, all right? But some people might see this high here, all right? And if I will just draw a horizontal line, what happened? Okay, although my line isn't very straight, but if you just draw this horizontal line, right, and you might see that this black color bar had closed, okay, closed below a high that was broken. And some people will treat these as a bearish breakout. Okay, that means the price actually broke below previous high. All right, so what happened to these people who saw that bearish breakout? They will sell. So the action here is actually sell. Okay, and then they are selling at the bottom here, because then sometimes, right, when you're at the high, right, I mean, you look at the news flow and say, oh, because of the war coming in, there's no way for oil to drop, etc. You think the oil is going to go up, but just flip the other side. And when it comes inside here, then maybe the headline would be, oh yeah, oil had a huge supply, or the war is going to end, blah blah blah. Okay, and then you read the headline and then say, hey, look, perhaps that I could actually be selling here. Okay, so there are people who genuinely sold here. All right, but after a while, after some time, you realize that, hey, look, those people who sold here, let's say for example, they sell at less than $99. So maybe they will sell at 98 or 97 or maybe $96. Okay, even all the way to $90, for example. So they went short oil. Now, what happened when oil actually flipped up? Okay, so let's say oil flip up and start to trade at 103. So those people who shorted, who sold at 99, 98, 97, 96, or even $90, when they see that 103 appearing, then what happened to them? So they would be in a panic to go and buy back their position. All right, so these will result in a buy. So what happened when some people who didn't enter the sell trade and saw that oil is actually resuming up, then they say, hey, look, it seems that I have a white candle coming in. So my action is to go and buy because, all right, I think that it is going to resume that bullishness. Okay, and the last group, which will be very, very important group, right? So these are the people who is in control of the market. All right, so these are the people who purposely might be forcing oil down. Perhaps that they saw this very long extended trend line here, all right, but they also saw that there's another one more level which is called resistance. They might be pushing price down so that more people can actually sell to them. So you realize that at this very magical place, there are three groups of people, but all of them are all doing only one thing. Okay, those people who have shorted, they buy to square back the position. Those people who fake this move down, all right, they have been slowly accumulating, which is also buy. So those people who saw the white color candlestick, what are they doing? They are also buying because they saw the white color candlestick. Three groups of people having three different objectives, all doing the same action. Okay, and this is the reason why wash and rinse it's often explosive. All right. Okay, now questions, any failure? Yes, of course. All right, there is no system without failure. But if you take a look at the earlier oil trade that happened last year, all right, so it's the same example as Aussie yen. Okay, so it has been in the very, very nice uptrend situation. If you put in a moving average, all right, I assure you that moving average will be just right here, like that. Okay, now, so there was a sell signal. Yes, there was a sell signal, but to every fake signal, right, it gives us a new opportunity. All right, because then these down here will become our wash bar because price had a close below the previous low, and then here we will become a buy for us because that will be a bullish wash and rinse. And look at how far price actually travel, all right, at the buy signal here. So if you can keep your losses tight, all right, then if you get into a wrong signal and then we immediately can pop out a new signal and you can enter and write that trade, then you're gonna have many times returns versus your loss. Okay, so there is no trade, right, that doesn't have wrong signal, but more important is how fast is that recovery. So whenever we design system, we always design one with a quick recovery. Okay, it doesn't mean that you anyhow moved, but it means that the system is very, it has the capability to spot that you are wrong, quickly cut away your trade, and make sure that you can enter on the right one. Okay, so if you, I would attach the Aussie yen trade here for you to see. You realize that they have the same pattern. Okay, so this was Aussie yen trade. Same thing, that a little bit of a down resulted in a sell signal, but if you just put in a moving average to filter the trade, you definitely be able to spot that you are wrong, and then you should be looking at the buy signal. Okay, next question. You are always showing the day time frame. Is it very slow? The answer is not, because if you look at a system, all right, there will be scalping system, there will be swing, all right, there will be investment. So we have to know how to put in the different time frame. It is not about putting in some indicators and some price action and then that's it. All right, when we build systems, all right, we will have to make sure that they are aligned. Okay, so they are aligned with each other. Either they are aligned with the broad market, so we have to get some broad market indications, all right, or they are aligned with one another in the time frame. So for what you saw just now, it's just TOR 3.0. It has been upgraded to 3.1. What it does is that it draws in the arrows, all right, and the ticks, okay, green or red color to show that wash and rinse. Okay, so what we do is that in terms of the actual trade, we will always fine tune the trade, right, to trade in the lower time frame, meaning that while you see in the day, but our trade actually happens in a H for every 4 hours. All right, so it means that, for example, in the morning, all right, at 9, I'll be monitoring the trade 9 a.m. But at 1 p.m., okay, so that's when my trade might be coming in already. Okay, 1 p.m. if you are working, there will be a lunch time. Now, second signal will happen at 5 p.m. So this is the peak of the European trading hours. So at 5 p.m. I might have my signal, and that's where we are starting to get back home from work, right? And then the next signal might come in at 9 p.m. Okay, we are still not sleeping yet. We can be able to use that signal to trade. All right, so what I'll do is that, number one, all right, we provide a dashboard. Okay, because then this dashboard will gives you all the trades that you are monitoring. All right, and every 4 hours or every 1 hour, it will pop a signal if there is a signal. So for example here, right, you can see that, okay, I have an Aussie yen sell. It means that this signal happens 1 minute ago. Okay, it will pop and it will let me know that there's an Aussie yen sell here. All right, so I have, for example, 4 hours ago, all right, I know that there was a dollar franc buy. Okay, so that happens 4 hours ago. So at one glance, I be able to see all the signals I have. I no longer go and search for them. All right, because if you take a look at, you know, a real trader, when they have so many things to trade, right? Or maybe they have only one instrument, but at least they want to have that luxury to have that signal pop right to you rather than you go and search the signal. Okay, so what I do is that once I put it there, I have all the signals delivered to my phone. So every time at 1 p.m. it will ding ding ding, or 5 p.m. it will ding ding ding. I know that, hey, look, there's a potential trade coming in, and I just go and do it. Okay, now second thing is that we trade every 4 hours, meaning that we don't say that, okay, there is this green color arrow here, we just jump in to buy. No, okay, it's often too slow already. So what we do is that we will break this day chart here, day bar here, which is 24 hours. We will split that into 6 candles, right? Because then 24 hours divided by 4, you're gonna have 6 candles, 6 H4 candles, 4-hour candles in the day, right? So our trades happen in between or just at the midpoint of that completion of the day candle. Okay, so we don't wait until that green arrow shows. Okay, because then when a green arrow shows, usually it will be very slow. All right, so when we will go to the lower time frame, which is a 4-hour time frame. all right, we will emulate a possibility of where and when, all right, that green candle might show, and then we will trade that into a 4-hour time frame. So for example, you can see here, right, I have an early alert at 7 o'clock, then I put in my trade at the full trade at H4 close at 9 o'clock. Okay, so this is usually how I trade. So I can be doing the webinar, and let's say 8 o'clock I finish the session already, and then have my dinner at 8:30 until 8:30, and bathe already 9 o'clock, right, I'll be there to actually put in my trade. Okay, so this is usually how I manage that. And I don't take the 1 a.m. signal. Usually by then, right, I'll be sleeping already. My students and my traders know that I sleep early. That's why when they ask me to take a look at the 1 a.m. signal, I say I don't want to look at it. All right, so this is how we trade in the H4 time frame if you guys are interested. So for all my stuff, they are all color coded. So these are the auto boxes, and auto boxes I'll explain how to use them, all right, in the second session. Okay, I have one more session or two more sessions with Phillip Nova. All right, one would be I think on the 14th or 13th, I can't remember, later I show it to you. And then the third session would be on how to automate your trade, how to do it automatically. All right, that would be the third session. Okay, so you can see, for example, this is one of the trade that happens in our using Tor. So here we entered at this place here. See, 1 o'clock there was an alert. So 1 o'clock was actually this bar here. So we actually bought into dollar yen here. Okay, so this one was 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock, 1700. So where was our trade? We actually shorted in the dollar yen here. And this one was 1 a.m. So 1 a.m. what do? Sleep already. I didn't have the chance to trade that. I didn't trade that. And this one was actually 9 p.m. and that was a trade. And in fact that I don't really put in the trade myself. They're all done automatically. So I'm just going to talk about how to do that automatically on the third session with Phillip Nova. All right. Okay, so let me just quickly move on, and then I'll just accumulate the questions. Okay, to sum up, right? What is the alien wash? Number one, it's a full system, a full way to analyze. Okay, it involves wash and rinse. But of course, wash and rinse, we can't just go to any place to go and point wash and rinse. Okay, so for example, here is a NASDAQ. All right, so NASDAQ, we can also trade that. You can see that this one was a washed. Okay, why? Because price had a close above a previous high. All right, and then this was a rinse, and plot a red color arrow here. So we know that this was a sell, and that was a 500, or is it a 1,000 point move in NASDAQ? I also can't remember already, but very, very nice move. Okay, but what I like to do is always have things which are automatically put in. So for example, here we're going to have this indicator that shows what happened in the weekly level. As I explained, that we need to make sure the time frame is coherent, what happens in the weekly level, and then these sell trade happens to be very nicely resisted by the weekly level. Okay, so it was with the trend trade. So you can take the alien wash, you can just load the free indicator inside the trial, all right, to show you that arrows here. You can use it in Forex, gold, oil, indices of cryptos, and these are all available in Phillip Nova platform. All right, okay, let's continue. Now, so a few things I want you guys to do. All right, then if you can't, and if you want to know more about the alien wash, of course, you can take a course, all right? But my course is split into two modules. The first module will explain what is wash and rinse. Okay, unfortunately, in the first module, I think that I probably just explain about 50% of what wash and rinse is about. And you have to take the second module to get the full idea. Okay, but anyway, the first module, there's a lot of materials there. Okay, and it fully explains how to look out for wash and rinse and where are the locations to look out for wash and rinse, how you're going to use it. So if after my explanation today, you don't really understand, you can take the Tor course, which is the alien wash course, module 1, and this is for free. All right, I will let you know how to do that. Now, if you want to have that indicator that I've used just now, All right, you can get it for free, a free trial. The link will be provided at the end of the session, or we are coming to the end of the session. All right, but if you really want to know how to trade wash and rinse, or if you are interested or a little bit how to say, curious about what I have shared, okay, then you might want to consider a few things. Number one, as I mentioned, take the TOR module 1. So these are the very comprehensive TOR module 1 lesson. For example, lesson 1 talk about why the wash and rinse, why the wash and rinse is very often explosive, how to use the wash and rinse in different instruments, how does the wash and rinse pattern look like, the different patterns, and how to increase the strength of a wash and rinse signal, an example of the wash and rinse using the alien wash strategy. Okay, and then you can get a free trial. And lastly, my course, which is the whole TOR module, isn't expensive. Okay, it is not 7,000, it is 700 if you're interested to take it. All right. What today is that with Phillip Nova, there is a special promotion. If you are an existing client, or if you are a new client, you just have to fund your account with $5,000. Meaning that if you're a new client, you open an account, you fund with $5,000, all right, and you get a $150 cost refund. All right, that means that your net cost, that means your net cost, right, for this particular TOR course is actually $550. So you have about 20% discount, all right, or 20% saving. All right, and if you are existing account holder with Phillip Nova, then you just have to make sure that your account has already existing 5,000. You don't need to make a fresh deposit. All right. Okay, so what is included in TOR module 2? Now, module 2 will talk about the execution. That means exactly how you execute the trade in the lower time frame. So we have things like OB, which is special, and we have the auto box, we have the TOR MTF, how to formulate, how to use the TOR dashboard, how to trade in the different instruments, and then we have also added auto trading, how to load in the expert advisor, and you'll automatically open the trade, manage the trade, add position for you. So I cover this one during the third session. Okay, so what is included in module 2, right? So number 1 is that the course is conducted online, meaning that you can attend the lesson anytime, watch as many lesson videos as possible as you want, and you can keep on refreshing. However, there will be still live session, meaning that every twice a week, right, I will be doing live session with my students. Okay, just now, for example, I just finished a live session with them. I updated that we might have a radical change, all right, in terms of gold, oil, Bitcoin, or even net gas, etc. Okay, so I told them what to look out for, all right, how you should be trading in this environment here, what to trade, etc. Okay, and of course, revision into the courses, meaning that revision into the concept. All right, this weekly webinars will be there for as long as you want. Okay, you'll be recorded as well, that you can actually watch them. Okay, now with the $700 course, you get 12 months use of the TOR indicators, meaning that whatever indicators that we have launched now, and whatever new updates or new launch indicators will all be included for use of 12 months use. Of course, we have the Facebook support group, we have the daily broadcast, we have Telegram chat on what to look up for, etc., etc. Okay, all these are just built for one thing. Whatever that we are seeing as a team, all right, my trading team, we just want to make sure that you see the same thing and you trade the same thing to make money. All right. Okay, so lastly, last 2 slides only. All right, if you want to get the trial, the one that I'm showing, the up and down arrow and the green and the red, right, you can key in this address here. Sri, do you mind if you just help me to just send it to them? The website is bit.ly/TOR trial PN. PN means Phillip Nova. All right, so you can scan this, all right, and then or you can just type this and you can just fill in the form. Later I'm going to show you the form, and you can just go there and download the trial version. There will be a video to let you know how to install this trial version. It's like how you add in any particular indicator. Okay, so this trial version is only available for use in a Phillip Nova MT5. So therefore, if you don't have Phillip Nova MT5, please download one and get their demo account. All right, so it has to be a Phillip Nova platform and using either a live or a demo account. Okay, all right. So I'm just going to leave it here for a while so that you can just go and scan it, and then you can just type the address. All right, just quickly show you. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen here that shows the form that you need to fill it in. All right, same thing, you just key in your name and your email address, and then remember to click I'm not a robot and click subscribe. So once you have done that, you are being asked to confirm, right, your email address, meaning that we need you to confirm that this is a valid email address that we can send to. And you should be able to receive another email that gives you the download link and explanation on what to do. Okay, so that's the first step here. All right, so let me just flash this again. Okay, so this is the site that you need to go to. If you can, just scan it, and then you should be able to see that form and you can download the trial. All right, okay. Now, next is we talk about the promotion. Phillip has kindly sponsored, or rather will be reimbursing 150 Sing dollar in cash. All right, if you can open an MT5 account, if you're a new customer, or if you are existing customer, you just need to make sure that you have $5,000 funding inside. Okay, and once you get a tour cost, that means that once you pay for the $700 tour cost, all right, you submit your MT5 and your cost receipt, and you submit to this particular address here. Okay, and then they would put in $150, all right, cash to reimburse for your cost fee. So effectively, your cost fee is $550. All right. What I recommend is that go and take the free tour course, all right, and then give it a try, the free one, all right, and then you realize that many things are there. You realize they will provide a lot of tools that you really need in your trading. Okay, and it might be the answer if you don't know, if you haven't been trading very well. Okay, so this is the website, okay, for you to open an MT5 account. Okay, now this is the website that you have to use, not the generic website, right, to open MT5 account, because once you use the link to open, they know that you are coming from this session and they know that you're interested to participate in the promotion. Okay, so there is one part in the form that says, oh, how do you know Phillip Nova? You can say that, okay, I know it from Binni's, okay, or Binni's session, or etc. All right, so alternatively, you can scan that QR code to go and apply. Okay, now my point is that when you apply, you can use SingPass and it's very easy, just click. Because in order to qualify for this promotion, the $150 cash reimbursement, right, their term is it must be the first 20 approved account. This means that if you are existing account holder, all right, fine, that's good. But if you are new to them, then it must be the first 20 approved account holder. Then they will give you that $150 reimbursement. So, for example, you are not sure whether you want to take the course, right? But doesn't matter. Applying for an account doesn't cost you any money. So you can just apply for an account, and then if you want to take the course, then you just fund $5,000 and then give the MT5's account number and the course receipt, right, or the course membership profile to submit to this email address, and that's it. Okay. Remember to use this special link. All right, and remember to say that you are coming from, you get to know about the account from Binni's preview. Otherwise, you can just write an email to us here. Now, just quickly, few questions, right? What happened after 12 months of the use of the indicator? We are actually selling this software, so for training we can keep on training you, and you can keep on attending the webinar. We don't really mind. We don't upsell you anymore, meaning that there's no any other courses that you need to take from us. Okay, the only thing that needs is that the alien room, which is the use of all the indicators. It's only for 12 months. That means that after 12 months, all right, if you want to continue to use the indicators, you need to actually get another 12 more months of subscription, and that's $576. So I'll be very, very upfront with you. All right, if you can make money within 12 months, all right, that's fine. You don't need the indicators anymore. You know how to trade. If you can't, or if you just, many people just keep on, or rather pay, because then the amount of money they make from the system, that's right, is a lot more than whatever they're paying. Okay, so must I pay the cost fee of $700 first? Yes, you have to. You have to pay, and then you have to fund before you can get the $150 back. All right, is it suitable for newbies? Yes, because our training is very comprehensive, plus the amount of training that we have in terms of the number of webinars and in terms of the indicator support, etc. All right, so I think that so far I have students from the region, all right, including US, Africa, UK, Australia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, the region. So we have many people trading the TOR system. Okay. Now, lastly, if there's any questions, you can contact us. All right. This is our email address, or you can just contact us via Telegram or WhatsApp. Okay. Now, I'm just going to flash this for a while so that you can know the contact details, or you can just go to the website, which is Online Forex Master, or once you get into this page here, all right, once that email gets sent to you, you can find all your contact information. All right, so this one is the account opening. If you are existing user, you can log inside your account to continue account application. But if you're a new user, all right, you can just click to apply for a new account. Okay, so you can use SingPass to do that. It's very easy. All right, this page here would be where I have another 2 more session. Okay, so the first session, right, would be today. The next session will be on 13th of April, which is the use of Autobox. Okay, and
Hey, Binni.
then yep.
Yeah, you know, for your 2 upcoming webinars, right? I've added the links to those webinars in the chat box. You know, so members of the
Okay.
audience, if you want to quickly sign up for the webinar on the 13th on Autobox and 19th, which is on automations, you can quickly jump to your chat box right now, click the link and sign up.
Yep. Okay. Sri, do we have any questions?
Not at the moment right now.
Okay.
But you know, if you have questions, I mean, we will be sending you a recording of this webinar so you can review what was covered. If you have questions tomorrow, you know, after you select on it and you have some questions, please send them our way, and we can get Binni's views on that and get you started on trading with Thor.
Yes. Let me just quickly just go through. For example, how they're gonna put in the indicator. Okay, the one that they are going to download as a free trial. Since it's a free trial, please just go and try it. Trying no harm. Okay. Anyway, you get to see whatever that we're gonna see, I'm gonna see here. All right. So this is the place where once you load your indicator in, all right, anyway, the email will give you a lot of a video that gives you the instruction on how to put the indicator. It's not difficult. So this is the indicator here. So let's say, for example, you're gonna have a screen that is new, meaning that you don't see anything that's inside here. All right, nothing plotted, right? So to get that indicator to plot all these sticks and arrow, right, just have to take that and drag it in, all right, and then click OK will do. Okay, just click OK. All right, so this is the first step. So once you click OK, see, you can automatically plot in all these arrows here. Now the second way is that we have loaded in the template for you. All right, so you can just take the template, just load that template, and then you can just put in this is the template here, and that's it. So that's the template that has been loaded for you. Okay, now let's talk about the gold. So gold was one of the very nice trade that we had. Okay, and I brought this gold up when it was somewhere around this place here. Okay, so let's do a bit of a revision, right? So gold was near to a resistance. Okay, in fact, that if you were to see gold, yes, it is very good, but then for us, it says that it has this down already, and it hit right now into some resistance here. All right, do you see this tick here that's red color? Okay, so this tick, right, that's red color is telling us that potentially there could be a bearish wash and rinse. Okay, unfortunately, if you use this tick without going to the lower time frame, you will be actually selling here, which is actually too far already. Okay, I mean too slow. All right, so what we do is that we use this tick as a confirmation to know that there's a wash and rinse and to know that we can continue this trade downwards. Okay, now then for us, we would go to the lower time frame, and the lower time frame would be a 4-hour time frame. Okay, so this is exactly what we have, all right, and what we can see. Okay, I will cover the boxes next session, but you can see the lower time frame, our sell of gold was here. That means that we actually shorted gold at around this price, okay, near to 1942. Okay, so that was the price that we shorted. There's not a lot of effort to do that because we only look at each trade every 4 hours. So this one, okay, for gold, it's just a little bit different from the Forex time. So this one was at 10 o'clock. Okay, so this one here was actually happened at 2 o'clock. So I fetched my daughter, and then after that, you know, came back, I just say, okay, it's matured already. I just, you know, put the trade in and just wait for it to happen. All right. So if you take a look at right now is about 1909, then from the price that we shorted to now, it's actually about I think $30. Okay, $30 is actually quite a very nice profit for us if you are trading into gold. Okay, so I don't want you to spend a lot of time staring at the screen, because then that's really a waste of time. So I use all these automations. One is sent to me, I just put in the trade, and then I just let the automations, right, handle all this trade for me. Okay, so my trading is actually no stress, no frustration. It's actually very, very fun. All right, so any other questions before I end the session? So same thing, you can just browse through using this indicator, the different you know, instruments that rather different things that can be traded in Phillip Nova. All right, so same thing, just put this in, and for example, we had an earlier trade in Kiwi. Okay, so for example, we had this trade in Kiwi here, so that is also doing very well. All right, and the Kiwi trade was happened somewhere around here. Okay, so that's one of a very nice trade. It's just starting, so we can see what happened in the next few days. All right, and then we had also oil trade. Okay, so if you have been trading oil, okay, then you know that this was a very fantastic, nice trade here. So this was the wash and rinse, but we had the trade actually in earlier, and it's very nicely sticking to our levels here. Okay, all right, so do explore a little bit more. If you don't have any questions, I'll just end the session here. Let me just flash the slide, okay, on this for you to get the trial. Okay, Sri, do they have questions or still no questions yet?
We don't have questions at the moment, but if you do have questions after the session, please send them our way. And thank you for being a wonderful audience, and thank you for your valuable insights, please. And that's the QR code you need to scan to sign up for the indicator trial, which is for 1 month use, and it's for or Phillip MT5.
And this one to get the Phillip Nova live account.
Yeah, so for 5,000 funded in your account, you will get 150 cash reimbursement for the workshop, which effectively makes your workshop just $550, and you get to learn valuable insights from our professional trader, Binni Ong.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sri, and have a good night. I hope to see you guys next session or for you to take the course. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, thank you everybody. Good night, Binny. And remember, it's the first day you can take off your mask if you're out and about in Singapore. All right, take care, good night, and stay safe, everybody.